Okay, so in the next several sessions, we're going to get into a practical example of how to implement these steps in real life trading. All right, and to do that, we're going to start with step number one, which was to perform a top-down multiple time frame analysis in order to determine the market context that we're currently in. All right, so let's just jump right into the charts and do that. Okay, so here we are on the charts, looking at the S&P 500 futures, the ES. It's currently a Sunday. We're on October 28th. So we're heading into the trading day of October 29th on the Monday, and we're doing our preparation. All right. And we're starting on the first step, which is the top-down multiple time frame analysis to give us the context. All right. So as we see right now, even though we're day traders, we start with a daily chart. We zoom out and look at a big picture. And this big picture is showing us about a year of market action. So right now, we're in November, and we're looking back all the way to the previous October, November. So it's about a year's worth of data. Each bar is a day. Okay. And as we can clearly see, the biggest picture shows us that we're in an uptrend, right? The market has been trending upwards. We had this major swing low here, up to a swing high, we had a retracement, and then a swing high, and now we're retracing. So the biggest picture shows us we're in an uptrend. And we went extensively into how to do all of this analysis in the foundational level training. So we're not going to keep going into great detail. You got to use that training, go back to it, review it, make sure you practice it, do all the extensive drills we had there to allow you to do this to the best of your capabilities. But for now, we're just going to go right through it, all right? So we see we're in an uptrend. Next, let's zoom in a bit. So we're going to go from the daily chart to, let's say, a 60-minute chart. Okay, here we are in the 60-minute. As we see, this gives us a different picture. So on the daily chart, we noticed that we were in an uptrend. But here, what do we notice? Well, we noticed that, first of all, there was a major balance area here. All right, so let's just draw that in pretty quickly. Okay, so here's the profile of it. So is our balance area. But we notice that now, as we were moving sideways, balancing and building value, we've now recently, in the last 3-4 days, broken down to the downside out of this. All right, and now we're building value right here, showing a mini balance area that's starting to develop. Okay, so the big picture daily was bullish. This one seems bearish. On the 60-minute, we had a big balance area, and now we're below it, and we are accepting value lower. We're building value lower. All right, so let's go in a step deeper and go to, let's say, the 15-minute. All right, here we are on the 15-minute. Now, as we see on the 15-minute, it's just showing us a close-up of what was happening on the 60-minute, and we see that, it's been trending down. This was when the gap happened to break us out of that balance area, which, in this time frame we don't see, but we see that it's been trending down and now going sideways. So at best neutral, but with a context of a down move. So, in this time frame we're in an intermediate term downtrend in the context of the larger uptrend. All right? So we're retracing part of the larger uptrend. Well, let's go a step further, all the way down to the 5-minute. And here on the 5-minute, this was the last day that was traded. We just see that we're just going sideways. We're balancing, so we're neutral on the 5-minute. All right. Now let's just zoom back out quickly to the daily for a second and just show you how you can see all this in one snapshot when you become experienced. Just by simply looking at the daily, you'll quickly be able to see what's happening. Okay, here we are back to the daily. And as we see, like we said, it was an uptrend. All right. This little part is what the 60-minute was showing us. This is the balance. All right, let's just draw it in quickly. Let's draw in the profile. This was the big balance. About pretty much a month of sideways balancing. All right. This was the breakdown out of it, and now this is a tiny little balance that's forming under it. Okay. If we zoom in a bit here, closer, we see that this was the 15-minute intermediate term down move within the context of the up move. For the last several days, it had moved the S&P down 60 points. So we had these big bars down breaking out, and this little 3 bars are the sideways movement that we saw in the 5-minute chart, all right, that we're building value here. So as you see, we quickly notice that you can visualize the daily, the 60, the 15, and the 5 quickly from this. But, as you're going along, it helps to actually look and see. It actually helps to go through the time frames themselves. And so quickly, what our basic conclusion right now is that we are neutral at the shortest time frame. We're going sideways on the 5-minute. We're bearish on the two above that, the 15 and the 60. We had this big sideways balance area, and we've broken out below it, and we're holding below it. But on the biggest time frame, it's all happening within a bullish context. It's all a normal pullback within a larger uptrend. Okay? So given all this, what is our bias here? Well, that's going to come once we've dissected and understood everything else around the situation, and then when we actually put in the scenarios, the what if then analysis, and then you'll see what the bias is in general and what it's likely to be under specific scenarios. But this is a crucial step to give us the context to be able to get into those scenarios. So we'll need to remember what we found out here, all right? And as you see, it's quick. Once you get practice with this, you'll just notice it, and you won't need to be looking, redoing the daily one every day. You'll know this isn't going to change. The daily is not going to change, so you'll know you're in a daily uptrend when you're trading the market live, and you'll know what's happening on the bigger time frame. So from day to day, this will just be slight updating on a daily basis of now what's happening, but you're going to know this picture. I'm just teaching you how to do it to begin with, all right? Now let's zoom back in and do a bit more analysis on the shortest of the time frames. Okay, so here we are on the lower time frame again, on the 15-minute chart, and I've drawn in this profile, right, volume profile, to show that over the last 4 days, we've essentially been going sideways and building value at these prices. Now, one thing we've learned based on the laws of market behavior that we went deeply into before, right? One of the 10 laws was that trends usually come to an end in the form of balance areas, and new trends usually start from balance areas, all right? So on this time frame, the fact that we have 4 days going sideways in this tight range, building value here, building this high volume node here, tells us that we could likely expect a breakout out of this balance area pretty soon, all right? You rarely just keep in a perfectly sideways area, tight range for too many days, right? We've already spent 4 days in this area. So this tells us that we could likely see a move up or down out of this, right? Now, given the context that we've understood already, right, the bigger picture uptrend, we could be thinking that if we break up upwards out of this, uptrend may be resuming. If we break out downwards out of this and we hold and we sustain value lower, then maybe this intermediate term downtrend is resuming and it's going to get larger before we resume the bigger uptrend, if we resume it at all. So these are the kind of thoughts that are going in our mind right now, okay? But where the analysis is really going to get more sophisticated is when we get into the key reference areas, all right? When we get into where the major support and resistance levels are, who has control of the market at different places, what they mean for the market going forward, who's in control at different big picture scenarios, and what's likely to happen as the market tests those areas. Now, since we're day trading, right, it's going to require us looking from the biggest picture, okay, all the way down to the smallest key reference areas that will provide support and resistance, and they'll all fit in together like smaller pieces of a bigger puzzle. All right, so let's get into that, which is step number 2 in the next session.